The water of the Nile moves in a heavy, opaque green, slow and deceptive under a merciless African sun. A man kneels at the muddy bank, his chest heaving, sweat cutting channels through the dust on his skin. He is not fighting in a war. He is not fleeing an invading army. He is trying to clean a strip of white linen. And then, without a ripple, a shadow slides across the murky surface just inches from his hand. Today, a pristine shirt is the result of 3 silent seconds and a plastic button. 4,000 years ago, it was a lethal gamble with the river gods. In the Nile Valley, cleanliness was not merely hygiene, it was an echo of Mat, the cosmic order of purity and balance. The elite draped themselves in brilliant white linen woven from delicate flax. Yet beneath the aristocratic splendor lay an unforgiving biological reality. At opulent banquets, nobles balanced cones of solid animal fat and myrrh upon their heads. As the night grew warm, the perfumed grease melted, running down their garments in thick, stubborn tracks. To scour those heavy stains without soap, Egyptian washers turned to nature's raw chemistry. They harvested natron, a natural mineral salt rich in sodium carbonate from desiccated lake beds. Dissolved in water, natron reacted with the animal fats right on the fabric, triggering crude saponification, producing soap on the spot. For harsher bleaching, they boiled wood ash into caustic lye. But the true terror waited where the washing actually occurred. Ancient papyri, like the satire of the trades, reveal a grim daily truth. Washermen labored directly in the river's shallows, sharing the water with apex predators. A clean tunic was bought with chemical burns and the constant fear of crocodiles lurking beneath the silt. Look closely at the carved reliefs of pharaohs, and you will notice something striking: razor-sharp, geometric pleats cascading across their garments. To the ancient eye, these crisp ridges were the ultimate visual shorthand for wealth and divine discipline. But pure linen has no natural memory. Wash it in water, and every fold instantly collapses into a flat, wrinkled mess. How did they preserve these razor-edged creases for millennia? The answer lay buried until 1906, when archaeologists opened a tomb at Deir el-Bahari and discovered perfectly pleated garments untouched after 40 centuries. Microscopic analysis from the Royal Ontario Museum revealed an ingenious chemical lock. Washers treated damp linen with gelatinized starches and tree resins, pressed the fabric firmly into grooved wooden pleating boards, and left them under the blazing sun to cure. Yet this centralized luxury created an entirely modern logistical nightmare: garment mix-ups. In communal washhouses serving dozens of households, workers needed an infallible tracking system. In the tomb of royal architect Ka at Deir el-Medina, archaeologists found dozens of loincloths and tunics meticulously marked at the hem with permanent black carbon ink and cross-shaped runes. The world's oldest laundry tag was born. Step out of the silent tombs of Egypt and into the roaring streets of ancient Rome, and laundry ceases to be a sacred household chore. It becomes a massive, industrial machine powered by an ingredient that might make you flinch: human urine. In commercial washhouses known as Fullenike, the air hung heavy with the pungent sting of ammonia. To the pragmatic Romans, urine was liquid gold. Fresh urine breaks down into ammonium carbonate, a natural solvent uniquely capable of stripping heavy oils, cutting grease, and bleaching wool fibers to a blinding white. The demand was so massive that pottery jars were placed on city street corners to collect donations from pedestrians. A supply chain so lucrative that Emperor Vespasian famously taxed it, declaring that money does not smell. Inside the washhouse, male laborers called fullones spent grueling shifts standing ankle-deep in stone vats filled with urine, water, and caustic clay called fuller's earth. Hour after hour, their bare feet rhythmically trampled and pounded the wet cloth, mechanically scrubbing away the filth of an empire. But as the Roman world collapsed, this centralized industry vanished into dark obscurity. When the classical world fractured, the centralized plumbing and organized washhouses of antiquity vanished with it. Medieval Europe retreated into a world where cleanliness was suddenly viewed with deep moral suspicion. For centuries, laundering became an exhausting, weeks-long ordeal using caustic wood ash and fermented sour milk. Most ordinary people simply rubbed dried lavender into dirty seams, masking decay rather than removing it. Have you ever wondered why Monday carries such a heavy sense of dread? By the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution codified Blue Monday, a grueling weekly ritual where domestic labor turned purely agonizing. Women hauled hundreds of pounds of freezing water from communal wells, stoked open fires beneath massive copper cauldrons, and grated their bare hands against corrugated metal washboards until the skin split and bled. The work stretched over 10 relentless hours, only to be followed by Tuesday's exhausting task of pressing damp fabric with searing, 10-pound solid iron slabs heated over open coals. Cleanliness had evolved from a riverside gamble into an unyielding domestic prison. Yet on the horizon, an entirely unexpected chemical breakthrough was about to dismantle this ritual forever. Imagine standing in a tiny shop in Fort Worth, Texas, in 1934. The Great Depression has hollowed out the country. But inside this room, an entirely new world is being born to the metallic chime of coins. It was called a washateria, the world's very first self-service laundry. For the first time in human history, mechanized cleanliness was detached from immense personal wealth. By the 1940s, Westinghouse fused the words laundry and automat into an icon of 20th century life, the laundromat. But mechanical rotation was only half the revolution. The real sorcery occurred at the molecular scale. Have you ever wondered why your freshly washed clothes look so blindingly bright in natural daylight? It isn't just because the dirt is gone. Industrial chemists introduced optical brighteners and bluing agents, synthetic compounds that absorb invisible ultraviolet light and re-emit it as a faint blue fluorescence. It is a brilliant optical trick designed to fool human perception, canceling out natural fabric yellowing and creating the illusion of supernatural purity. Modern science had effectively engineered the clean white glow that ancient pharaohs spent lifetimes trying to maintain. Consider the modern washing machine humming quietly in the corner of your home. To us, it is mundane background noise, an unremarkable household appliance. But in the grand arc of human history, that gentle spin cycle represents one of the most radical triumphs of human civilization. For thousands of years, the simple pursuit of a clean white garment was an epic struggle against nature itself. It was written in the perilous currents of the Nile, where ancient washers risked their lives against crocodiles, etched into the caustic, ammoniac stone vats of the Roman Empire, and paid for by generations of women whose hands were worn raw over boiling copper pots and iron washboards on frozen Monday mornings. What we often dismiss as mere vanity was actually a profound human obsession. The relentless desire to bring order to chaos, to transform sweat, grime, and decay into light and purity. Today, advanced chemistry and automated machinery have rendered that monumental battle invisible. We toss our clothes inside, press a single button, and walk away, completely detached from the ancient rivers, the toxic ashes, and the grueling physical labor that once defined our survival. Yet this modern marvel comes with an unexpected twist. The very synthetic fabrics, microplastics, and high-energy cycles we rely on today have begun to quietly alter the global waterways our ancestors once washed beside. The next time you pull a crisp, brilliant white shirt over your shoulders, pause for just a moment. Look closely at the weave. You are not simply wearing fabric. You are wearing the culmination of 4,000 years of human ingenuity, survival, and an unyielding quest for purity. The great question is, now that we have finally mastered the art of cleaning our clothes, can we learn to keep the world we wash them in just as clean?